If you're a Sagittarius like me, then this is the weekly horoscope from the 3rd of February to the 9th of February. So on the 3rd, Mercury in Aquarius in your 3rd house is trining Jupiter and Gemini in your 7th house. So this is really focusing on the big picture and dreaming very big with exciting experiences when it comes to committed relationships and love and communicating. So it could be that you're trying to communicate with a committed relationship about what you really want. If you're single, this could be that you are trying to, get out there a little bit more, mingle in order to get a relationship, because on the 4th, Jupiter goes direct in Gemini in your 7th house of committed relationships, which is just lovely. I love this. This is basically luck, abundance, opportunity when it comes to love and commitment and relationships. It can also be shared contracts if you're not interested in love as well. Take what resonates with you. Think about it as just something you're committing to. This is really lovely because when it's direct, it is really going for the goals. And what I love about this as well is that Jupiter is about expansion. So in that love house, it's like, I'm going to expand the love and I'm going to give the opportunity. Again, if you don't have a committed relationship, think about using this as an opportunity. So Gemini is the 3rd house of communication, social media, whatnot. Or maybe you need to go on a dating app or social media in order to get a kind of romantic liaison or something like that. Think about how this all connects and pertains to your life, but use this opportunity until June the 9th because it's a good one to have. On the same day, Venus enters Aries in the 5th house. So again, this is just lovey-dovey energy. This is just, Venus in Aries is debilitated, so it's not as nice as Venus in Pisces, but Venus is really lovely. So let's use this energy to be very strong-willed about dating, creativity, and also maybe going for children as well. Again, maybe you could be expanding your committed relationship by having children, and that's the way that you're doing that. Again, however it resonates to you. On the 5th, Moon in Taurus in the 6th house is sextiling Mars in Cancer in the 8th house. So the emotions from the moon here can really energize you. I would say this is some kind of energy where you're needing to be motivated around investing for the future and trying to make sure that works with your work environment. Could be to do with co-workers, hybrid working, that kind of thing. On the 6th, the moon in Gemini in the 7th house is trining Pluto in Aquarius in the 3rd house. So really empower yourself emotionally and internally with that moon in Gemini when it comes to love, and then channel that passionate energy to transform your relationships into something better. That Pluto in Aquarius in the 3rd house, again, there's something to do with communication, social media, being able to kind of connect that when it comes to love this week. On the 7th, Venus in Aries in the 5th house is sextiling Pluto in Aquarius in the 3rd house. So some real emotional bonds can be strengthened here in that Venus and Aries in the 5th house. You could feel a bit more comfortable with intimacy and feeling just very sort of like free with yourself. The sacral chakra is open, passions can run high. And again, with that Pluto in Aquarius, there needs to be something that's communicated here. On the 8th, the moon in Cancer in the 8th house is squaring Venus and Aries in the 5th house. Woo, this is sexual energy. It's quite stubborn energy as well. So it could be that something or somebody is not budging on a certain topic and you're not budging and you have to be the one that compromises. I'm not saying this has to be anything spicy, but the 8th and the 5th house together, that's spice to me. So there definitely could be some energy here. You'll have to compromise. It takes two to tango, that kind of energy. It could also be something to do with, creative project and money. Whatever resonates. I still think it's spicy energy though. On the 9th, the Sun in Aquarius in the 3rd house is conjunct Mercury in Aquarius in the 3rd house. So ideas around writing, productivity and social media can really flourish during this time. You could feel really excited about things on the horizon and just being like, yes, I just feel the energy, especially because Jupiter's in Gemini now as well. So it's all about the 3rd house. Mars in Cancer in the 8th house, trining Saturn in Pisces in the 4th house on the same day. Energy might be off with that Mars in Cancer because it's already in its fall and it's also retrograding, which means the motivation is just not there. Saturn in Pisces is all about that discipline and setting the boundaries. This could be that you're setting boundaries around trust and money with home and family and trying to get the balance right. Overall, Sagittarius, this is a wonderful week for you. Very lovey-dovey. I love it for you. I'm not a Sagittarius rising, so I'm not really taking it for myself here. But, if it applies to the sun, let's take it. So I hope you enjoyed that video and I'll move on to Capricorn. If you are a Capricorn rising like myself, then this is the weekly horoscope from the 3rd of February to the 9th of February. So let's just get into it. On the 3rd, Mercury in Aquarius in your 2nd house is trining Jupiter in Gemini in the 6th house. So really focus on the big picture and dream big when it comes to your finances and the way that you are working. I already know what this means for me. Think about hybrid working, your work environment, the people that you're working with, and how you are earning money. Is this the best possible way that you can be earning money, or is it other routes that you can use? Really all about dreaming big. Because on the 4th, Jupiter is direct in Gemini in the 6th house. So this is great luck, expansion, and opportunity when it comes to physical health, like wellness, gym, that kind of thing, and co-workers and work environment. So whatever resonates with you, I'm going to take both of these because my back's freaking out. I'm trying to figure out what to do with work. So I'm going to take both of these, but this could just resonate with one of you. But this doesn't have to resonate with both. So this is really lovely energy. Jupiter direct as well is also about going for goals. So use this energy. On the same day, Venus enters Aries in the 4th house of home and family. Venus in Aries is debilitated, so it's not as nice as Venus in Pisces, for example, or Taurus or Libra, but it is good energy for strong-willed, motivated energy and getting harmony with seeming reliable. In the 4th house of home and family, this is a good energy to appear stable and to try to provide some stability in the home life. Again, if you're not really bothered about family, like me, I don't have much of a family, then this is more about getting stability when it comes to having a home for the future, that kind of thing. On the 5th, Moon and Taurus in the 5th house is sextiling Mars and Cancer in the 7th house of committed relationships. So emotions can be really energized for you. This too is like very lovey-dovey, right? So you can use the motivation from Mars and Cancer, although it's not as motivated as it could be. You could still use it to go after something to do with your love life in a very emotional way. I just get a capacity of emotion here. But again, Moon and Taurus is you're trying to get stability all the time, Capricorn. You know, that's just you. You're very stable. So there's a search for that. On the 6th, Moon and Gemini in the 6th house is trining Pluto and Aquarius in the 2nd house. Again, empower yourself emotionally and internally with that Moon in Gemini with this work environment, and then use that to find out what you want to be doing when it comes to earning money. There's something about transformation here with that Pluto and Aquarius in the 2nd house. It's all about transforming things for the better. So you're really focusing on work environment and money. And, you know, for a select few of you, this could also be physical health is detering you. So you've got to focus on that too. On the 7th, Venus in Aries in the 4th house is sextile Pluto and Aquarius in the 2nd house. So emotional bonds with others can be strengthened here, especially with the home and family. And you can feel more comfortable about, you know, trying to get that stability with money. And, you know, it could be quite passionate and nice. So use this passionate energy to focus on that stability. On the 8th, Moon in Cancer in the 7th house is squaring Venus in Aries in the 4th house. This is very stubborn energy when it comes to love and family. So it could be that there's a situation that you need to compromise on because this situation or person is not compromising with you. It could be a little bit sort of like, maybe I have to could be a bit like, maybe I have to be the one that walks into the road. On the 9th, Sun in Aquarius in the 2nd house is conjunct Mercury in Aquarius in the 2nd house. So ideas around how to get extra income around your finances and career can be really, you know, exciting right now, and they can really flourish. Again, always be thinking about what's on the horizon, and Aquarius is all about doing things differently again. So innovate, think about what you can do to get more money. On the same day, Mars in Cancer in the 7th house is trining Saturn in Pisces in the 3rd house. So, you know, Mars in Cancer is in its fall, it's retrograding at the moment, the energy might be really off here, but you can still use this discipline of Saturn in Pisces to set your boundaries around communication and love. Really say, I will only accept you talking to me like this, nothing else. And, you know, really feel what's right for you during this time. But overall, Capricorn, this is a really nice energy when it comes to money and also really getting focused on your work environment and your physical health as well. So I like this energy. Hope you like this video, and I'll move on to Aquarius. If you are an Aquarius, then this is the weekly horoscope from the 3rd of February to the 9th of February. So let's just get going. So on the 3rd, Mercury in Aquarius in the 1st house is trining Jupiter in Gemini in your 5th house. So really focus on the big picture and dream big when it comes to one of three things: dating and how that is going to make you feel internally and about your identity and your appearance as well. Creativity and how that is going to make you feel like you're showing up in the world as the best possible version of yourself because you're actually having fun. Or children and how that is shaping your identity. So there's one of these facets that you're exploring. Because on the 4th, Jupiter goes direct in Gemini in the 5th house. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion and opportunity, luck, abundance. Generally just a lovely, lovely planet. And when it goes direct, it's all about going for goals and really being like, yes, let's go for it. Gemini, the 3rd house of productivity and communication as well. Really lovely. Mix that with the 5th house. This is all about expansion when it comes to creativity. If you think about expansion, literally when it comes to children, some of you could really use this opportunity to get pregnant if that's something that you want to do, or to have children. I don't really do fertility stuff, so, you know, take this as what resonates. But, you know, what I'm saying is it could be a good opportunity to use. It's also really nice as well when it comes to dating as well, and having that grow and that be nice, and then also have creative pursuits that make you feel good. On the same day, Venus enters Aries in the 3rd house. Venus in Aries is debilitated. It's not as nice as Venus in Pisces or Taurus or Libra, for example. But Aries is very strong-willed, and you can really go for it using motivation here. In the 3rd house, this is really nice harmony when it comes to being productive. You could have some good energy around writing as well, doing a thesis, for example, or an exam, and generally just feeling quite like, I'm on it, right? It feels good. On the 5th, the moon in Taurus in the 4th house is sextiling Mars in Cancer in the 6th house. So emotions around home and family can really energize you when it comes to physical health. Could be that you're trying to get these two on track so that they coexist with each other. On the 6th, moon in Gemini in the 5th house is trining Pluto and Aquarius in your 1st house of self. So empower yourself emotionally with that moon in Gemini, and really channel some passionate energy into transforming your identity for the better. So again, this is focusing on doing things and showing up for yourself that are fun and nice and make you feel like I'm in the world for a reason. On the 7th, Venus in Aries in the 3rd house is sextiling Pluto and Aquarius in the 1st house. So emotional bonds around communication can be really strengthened here. You could really have some very good harmonious conversations with loved ones and friends, and that can make you feel more comfortable with yourself. Generally, this again is about transformation when it comes to communication and kind of getting that on track. On the 8th, moon in Cancer in the 6th house is squaring Venus in Aries in the 3rd house. So you might be a little bit more stubborn, probably around something to do with co-workers here in the 6th house, and communication and productivity. So they're not going to be the ones to budge. You have to be the one that compromises. So this could be a bit sort of like, for God's sake, I have to be the one that does it, but I think you have to be. On the 9th, Sun in Aquarius in the 1st house is conjunct Mercury in Aquarius in the 1st house, all about you. So ideas can really flourish here about your identity, your goals for the rest of the year. You could feel really excited about things on the horizon and like reinventing yourself here. On the same day, Mars in Cancer in the 6th house is trining Saturn in Pisces in the 2nd house. The energy might be a bit off here because Mars in Cancer is already its fall, and then it's retrograding as well. So it just feels like janky. It's not great. Saturn in Pisces is all about discipline and setting boundaries. In the 2nd house of finances, about money, and the 6th house with co-workers. There's like a bit of energy here where you could be trying to say something to a co-worker and it kind of affects finances, or you're thinking, I freaking can't work here anymore. There's just some energy here where it's a bit off. Generally, this is quite a nice week for you. There's some really nice energy when it comes to your identity, and also focusing on communication as well, and just doing things that you enjoy and actually like in life. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll move on to Pisces. If you are a Pisces, then this is the weekly horoscope from the 3rd of February to the 9th of February. So let's just get into it. The 3rd, Mercury in Aquarius, 12th house, trining Jupiter in Gemini in your 4th house. So this is really focusing on the big picture when it comes to your home and family, location of your home, your actual home, for example, your stability, and your family, could be children or relatives, with your mental health and kind of how this kind of fits together. You're trying to focus on having more joyful experiences with this section. Because on the 4th, Jupiter goes direct in Gemini in the 4th house. So Jupiter is a planet of expansion and luck, and generally just opportunity. When it goes direct, we're really actually going for our goals. And in Gemini, it's that 3rd house of productivity and communication as well. With the 4th house, this could be an expansion of, your family. So you could quite literally be expanding your family. And again, this doesn't have to be children. If you're not interested, you could find out that one of your relatives is having a child, for example, or so, getting married, or somebody brings someone into the family where it expands. But generally, this is opportunity where you can have a nice experience with, your home and family life, and just feeling good about that until June the 9th. And actually on the same day, Venus enters Aries in your 2nd house of income and finances. So this is really lovely when it comes to, stability and getting more income. Generally just feeling good about your money. You're not actually having a struggle here. Although Venus in Aries is debilitated, it's not as nice as Venus in Pisces or Taurus or Libra. It is still good energy. Also because Aries is very sort of strong-willed, it's ruled by Mars. So put that together in, you know, really going for your goals when it comes to your money and how that benefits your home and family life. On the 5th, Moon in Taurus in your 3rd house is sextiling Mars and Cancer in the 5th house. So the emotions from the Moon in Taurus can really energize you here. Although Mars in Cancer is in its fall, it's not as motivated. You can still use the motivation here to take action when it comes to communication and productivity with creativity and maybe dating as well. On the 6th, Moon in Gemini in the 4th house is trining Pluto in Aquarius in your 12th house. So really empower yourself emotionally with that Moon in Gemini with home and family, and channel some passionate energy into transforming something for the better. Really, this is all about your mental health again and how that fits with your home and family life. How do these two coexist, for example? On the 7th, Venus in Aries in your 2nd house is sextiling Pluto in Aquarius in your 12th house. So this is really about emotional bonds with others, but really in the 2nd house of income and finances, I see this more as you getting quite comfortable with sharing things about your finances with others, and also how you are, you know, how your finances are impacting your mental health. You know, again, there's just an energy about your mental health is kind of impacting home and family life, but also your finances. So how do these two interact? Think a bit about that. On the 8th, the Moon in Cancer in the 5th house is squaring Venus and Aries in the 2nd house. So this could be a stubborn energy with someone you're dating or a child or some kind of family member, where you're having to be like, no mate, I can't afford that. Something where it kind of clashes with money, but they're not the one to budge. You have to be the one that does it. So you have to compromise, and it kind of makes you feel a bit sort of like, okay, weird. Don't want to do that, but you have to be the one that does it. On the 9th, Sun in Aquarius in the 12th house is conjunct Mercury in Aquarius in the 12th house. So ideas can really flourish here. You could feel excited about things on the horizon. Again, this is an energy for me about doing things differently when it comes to your mental health and trying to really peel back all the layers and say, you know, I'm not going to do this shit anymore. I need to kind of focus on things. On the same day, Mars in Cancer in the 5th house is trining Saturn in Pisces in the 1st house. So the energy might be off. It's just a bit janky because Mars in Cancer is already in its fall. It's retrograding. It's just not nice. And then Saturn in Pisces is in your 1st house. So you're trying to get quite disciplined and setting the boundaries around something to do with dating, creativity, or children. And you're trying to figure out, you know, is this feeling right for me during this time? Like, how do I feel about setting the boundaries here? But the energy is just generally a bit off. So don't worry if you're, at one point you've got exciting ideas about mental health, but then you're also feeling a bit off at the same time. It's okay. It's interacting with each other. But generally, this is quite a nice week for you, Pisces, because there's a real nice focus on, you know, income and finances, but also on home and family life as well, which I think is going to be a really, really big focus for you throughout this year. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, and this is the last video of a whole set, so I'm not moving on to anything else, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Bye.